Let me start with a sentence that most people repeat, but very few people truly understand. If you do not build income that works without you, you will work until your body forces you to stop. That is not a quote, that is math. And math does not care about your feelings. Today, we are not talking about getting rich. We are talking about something more urgent: how to avoid financial dependence for life. Because the most dangerous financial trap in modern society is not poverty, it is employment dependency. Most people believe having a job is security, but in reality, for most people, it is controlled limitation. You wake up, you exchange hours for dollars. You believe this is stability, but you are selling the only asset you can never replenish: your time. And time has a hard limit: 24 hours, no extensions, no inventory restock. Imagine you owned a store that only received 24 units of product every day. Once you sold those 24 units, revenue stopped. That is your life if you only earn by the hour. There is a ceiling. You can earn more per hour, but you cannot create more hours. And when income is capped by time, wealth is capped by physics. Now, let's step back. Why do intelligent people accept this model? Because they were trained to. The modern education system was not designed to create owners. It was designed to create reliable specialists. You were trained to follow instructions, complete assignments, meet deadlines, seek approval, avoid mistakes. Those are excellent traits for employees. They are not the traits of capital allocators. You were not taught how capital flows. You were not taught how to read a balance sheet. You were not taught how ownership multiplies value. You were taught how to perform. And then, after graduation, you receive what feels like safety: a salary, predictable, twice a month. It feels stable. But it quietly reduces your risk tolerance. It discourages experimentation. It makes you dependent on continuation. Nassim Taleb once compared a steady paycheck to an addictive substance. He wasn't being dramatic. He was describing human psychology. Predictable income lowers perceived urgency. Urgency fuels entrepreneurship. Remove urgency, remove hunger, and hunger is necessary for innovation. Here's the deeper issue. The employer can remove your paycheck at any time. Technology changes, markets shift, leadership rotates. Loyalty is rarely rewarded with ownership. If your income depends on someone else's decision, you are not independent. You are conditional. Now let's examine the mathematics. First, taxes. If you earn income through wages, you are taxed at the highest rate. Income tax, payroll tax, social contributions, before you even receive your money. If you earn through ownership, capital gains, dividends, equity growth, taxation is typically lower and often deferred. The tax code favors risk capital. It does not favor wage labor. This is not conspiracy. This is incentive design. Governments want investment. They want capital formation. They do not design systems to maximize hourly earners. Second, inflation. When money supply increases, asset prices adjust first. Stocks rise, real estate rises, business valuations expand. Owners benefit immediately. Wages adjust last, sometimes much later. So if you earn by the hour, inflation quietly reduces your purchasing power before your raise arrives. If you own appreciating assets, inflation works for you. This is not ideology. This is sequence. Third, linear versus exponential. Selling time is linear. 1 hour equals 1 unit of pay. 2 hours equals 2 units. It is arithmetic. Ownership is exponential. If you own a system that scales, growth compounds, whether you are present or absent. That is why business ownership creates disproportionate wealth. It separates income from effort. Now here's the real question. If the math is so clear, why do most people stay in the employee model? Because of psychology. The paycheck creates comfort. Comfort reduces initiative. Titles create identity. Identity creates attachment. Corporations are excellent at offering status. Vice president, director, senior manager. Titles cost them nothing, but they cost you freedom. You begin to value recognition over independence. Busyness becomes a badge of honor. But busyness is not wealth. Often it is distraction. In my world, empty calendar space is not laziness. It is strategic thinking time. Owners are not paid for activity. They are paid for judgment. Employees are paid for motion. Now we transition. You do not need to quit your job tomorrow. That would be reckless. But you must change your identity today. Stop viewing yourself as an employee. Start viewing yourself as a small business that currently has one client, your employer. That shift changes everything. Now we install the owner mindset. First principle, equity. You must own something, even small pieces. Public markets allow participation in global businesses. Ownership means participation in profits. Without ownership, your income stops when you stop. Second principle, scalable leverage. Historically, leverage required labor or borrowed capital. Today, digital systems create leverage without proportional cost. Software, content, intellectual property, systems that replicate without your presence. Build once, distribute many times. This separates effort from revenue. Third principle, systems thinking. If your income requires your constant presence, it is not an asset. It is self-employment. An asset functions independently. Document processes. Automate what can be automated. Delegate what can be delegated. Remove yourself gradually. That is how wealth becomes resilient. Now let's discuss exit velocity. Do not burn bridges emotionally. Use your job as capital fuel, but protect your evenings and weekends. Those hours determine your trajectory. Most people use their free time for recovery, recovering from work they dislike. Instead, build during those hours. Develop skill, acquire ownership, research investments, create scalable value. When your ownership income begins covering core expenses, you gain leverage. When you can walk away without panic, your negotiating power changes. There is one final trap, the promotion trap. Just as you begin building independence, the system may offer you more salary, more responsibility, more prestige. Ask yourself carefully, is this accelerating your ownership path or delaying it? More pay can sometimes mean more dependency. Golden handcuffs are still handcuffs. Now let's close with something more personal. Imagine yourself at 85, health limited, energy reduced. Looking back, will you regret missing a promotion, or will you regret never attempting ownership? Time is non-renewable. Capital can be rebuilt. Reputation can be rebuilt. but time cannot. I have resources. I do not have yesterday. You still have today. The employee model is not evil. It is simply incomplete. It should fund your ownership transition, not replace it. If this conversation challenged you, subscribe. If you value discussions about systems, ownership, and long-term independence, like this video. Because wealth is not about money first. It is about control. And control begins the moment you stop renting out your entire life. The door has always been open. Most people just never question the cage. Now you have. The next move is yours.